As it's now time for us to look at what the papers are reporting. First, let's have a peek through the Nation newspaper with a screaming headline: Federal government moves to reform revenue collection, pricing of services. This Nigeria 2027, INEC to bear burden of election credibility in court. Akpabio, lawmakers push sweeping overhaul of Electoral Act. Blueprint newspaper: Electoral Act, Senate warns burden of proof shifted from litigant to INEC. Platform Times: outrage as Senate mulls limiting Nigeria's parties to 10. Opposition warns proposal threatens multi-party democracy. Critics say move violates citizens' constitutional rights. Next is Daily Trust newspaper: Senate proposes mandatory electronic transmission of results vis-a-vis Electoral Act amendments. The Daily Times: reps to probe $460 million Abuja CCTV project as insecurity soars. And the Hope newspaper: ISWAP scare, Ondo battle ready, tighten security after DSS memo leak. Government reassures residents of safety. Others increased border surveillance. Aida Tiwa convenes top-level security meeting. Daily Independent: credit drought threatens Nigeria's food security goals. And the Leadership newspaper: Dangote refineries proposed 10% stake sale excites Nigerian investors. And last but not least, Caterpillar: Osimhen can't stop scoring goals. Nets brace in Galatasaray 3-1 win against Bildo, claimed wins Man of the Match award. Let's get on to brass tacks. I'll be doing this with my colleagues, Etoma, Ria, and of course, Super Sam, who is here with us in the studio. Etoma, let me start off with you very quickly. The federal government is moving to reform revenue collection, pricing of services, and then the Finance Ministry launches FTR, CBS rev up, and then the pilot scheme begins in 10 agencies, all in the bid to block or plug leakages.
One of the ways of raising a country's revenue or a state's revenue is to block leakages. First of all, you identify the leakages and then you block them. And the federal government is moving towards that direction. And now everything is going to be transparent. If the federal government pays you, there will be a trace, because of the receipts that's going to be introduced into the mix now. All in all, what the federal government is trying to do is to ensure that we have money to solve some of these problems. Yeah. You notice that recovered monies is what the federal government is using to finance NEL Fund, and several other initiatives that the federal government is pushing. And so I think it's a decision that is good, the right direction, and it's about time. We started seeing real transparency when it comes to the financial life of our country.
Yeah.
I'll just touch on it quickly because I'm sure Super Sam has a lot to say. But I believe in accountability, and I think that it's high time that we start holding people accountable, because over time we've seen a lot of monies that have been mismanaged, and you ask, where did this money go to? It's either a snake has swallowed it. We've heard so many stories, but it's high time that we now know that there's a trace. This is where this money is going, and you need to identify where it's leaking from before you can close it.
Absolutely. If there's one thing to trust the Tinubu administration for, is we seeing him reenact the exact same thing he did while he was Lagos State Governor, blocking leakages and showing up the revenue. This is something we're going to be seeing from 2026.
Yeah, the president never shies to let people know that he's a finance man. Yeah. Now, what you are seeing here is not just that the thing will be coming straight to the federal purse. The thing is that individuals who are agency heads no longer have the prerogative to say, this is the amount I've made, this is the amount I'm giving to the federal government. No, we are going to know how much you made. If the money you are going to spend is going to be, you are going to apply for it, and then there's going to be a budget for you, rather than you deciding your own budget and giving the rest. If you have so much appetite for stealing, you can steal a lot of it. The thing it has political and social spin-offs. Then people use it as they lobby for juicy agencies. There's no longer a juicy agency. That's what it means. What it means is that the only juicy place is the federal purse. Yeah. So that's what it means. That means that all the what they call it, economy of affection. What they call economy of affection. There's this traditional ruler, I give this amount every month. Yeah. There's this person, this project I'm trying to do for this my village. I want to do all the friends that I want to give special this. Yeah. No, everything now is it's an extraordinary thing. We won't know the impact until maybe a couple of years from now. Yeah.
That's right. Now let's move on to this Nigeria. 2027, INEC to bear burden of election credibility in court. And then Blueprint also saying the same thing. Electoral Act, Senate wants burden of proof shifted from litigant to INEC. That will take platform times, in the process. But then they said he who alleges must prove, they say. Yes. But it is not INEC that is alleging this time round. The petitioner is the one that is alleged, but they are now moving the burden of proof to INEC. I don't know how that sounds right.
See, when I saw it, I asked myself the same question. Is INEC the one that is aggrieved? Is INEC the person that ran for the election and is not satisfied with the results? Yeah. And if INEC is not interested in a particular case, that case might not see the light of day. So I don't know what they are trying to achieve with this, but let's see how it goes.
And I was reading online where they said before it used to be you lost, prove INEC cheated. Now is INEC, prove you didn't cheat. It has turned. But for me, all I'll say is that 2026 or 2027, all we need from INEC is a free and fair election. Oftentimes we almost hear when the losers are always going to court. We are tired of all these court cases. I feel like if INEC can give us a strong election, that even people like what happened in 2023, at least we still see that was a free and fair election. So if we can have something like that again, I'm believing that a lot of politicians are more matured now to know that you go to court, it's a long case. At the end of the day, you lose the case, you waste money. So all I'm asking from INEC right now is just give me a free and fair election.
But Super Sam, if you look at INEC's duty is to conduct election, and then they are convinced in their own right that they've done the best. So if anyone is aggrieved, shouldn't the person be the one to make this proof available?
In Nigeria, we're always putting things upside down. If the thing is not upside down, then we are not
Nigerian
on top of it.
Oh yeah, we are not on top of it. That's right. So now let's look at the platform time saying, I will stay with you, Super Sam. Outrage as Senate mulls limiting Nigeria's parties to 10. Opposition warns proposal threatens multi-party democracy. Critics say move violates citizens' constitutional rights. What say you?
You know, this idea of many parties in Nigeria is very interesting. Many of the parties that we have in this country are there for hustling. I want to be party chairman, I want to be party secretary, and so on, so that when the time comes, I'll use my party as leverage. My party will support your party because you are the big one, we are the small one. So our market. As a there's also what they call competitive democracy, in which different parties now struggle to, have their own share of the electorate. But what happens in such circumstances is that some are stronger than others. So when one is stronger than the other because it's probably better organized and so on, and then they say, oh, one party state, it is because you are losing. It's just like when somebody accuses you of monopoly, when the person actually has control, of so many things, passing through the normal rules of engagement.
That's right. Etoma, let's move on to the Daily Times. Reps to probe $460 million Abuja CCTV project as Insecurity Soars. Remember the 2010 Chinese loan to fund the project, but then it's not working because we're seeing insecurity and they're not able to trace how this has happened.
Infrastructure like that should have been inspected. Immediately the contractors say, look, we finished work. You would have run the test at that time. Maybe they did run the test and they now realize that, look, all this money was wasted. We didn't get what we bargained for. And so the National Assembly now wants to know How did you spend the money? I mean, these things they are straightforward things. You know, you have cameras everywhere, and then you have a station where, like, how do I call it? A war room where everything is connected to, and information from there goes to security agencies that will need to arrest whatever situation. This is a straightforward thing.
Absolutely.
So why has it gotten to a point where now we have to ask, what did you do with the money?
Because they're not working, because some of them are not working. So it's right to ask, what did you do with the money? And that's why I always say all the time that, you know, most times we just give people jobs and we do not follow through. And this is what happens, you know. In a case where we're seeing a lot of insecurity happening in Abuja, I've said it all the time, Wike is doing a fantastic job with roads and all of that, but we still need to look into insecurity. You know, in Abuja, look at what happened to our journalists from, you know, another station. So when it comes to stuff like this, I feel like these are things that we need to look into critically. It's not a joke, because these cameras are cameras that will help us identify, you know, who these people that are perpetrating. But if we cannot see, then how do we fight? The blind man cannot go out fighting. Yeah,
you say we follow the money. We give people job, we don't follow the money. I mean, we don't follow the job, we don't follow it through. They follow it, but they follow it so
at the point they make a detour.
They make a detour. All right, then let's move on to the Hope newspaper.
If we need a camera to work, we also need a camera on the money.
Exactly.
I love the way you play on words.
I love it.
That's
all right, then, that's witty enough. Let's move on to the Hope newspaper. Ondo battle ready, tightens security after DSS memo leak. That's following the ISWAP scare. And the governor reassures residents of safety, orders increased border surveillance. Aidatiwa convened top-level security meeting. Remember what the Owo attack, you know, back in the day. We also remember some of those attacks in some, you know, areas. So getting this memo leak, it's not meant for public consumption. Now we know about it. How do you think the government should be on top of this game to ensure that they fight against it?
Well, we know that ISWAP is not a Nigerian problem, it's a West African problem, it's a civilizational problem. And so it is not an Ondo problem alone, it's a problem for everybody. So long as you don't have control of the West African sub-region, you can only, if there is a fight in the neighborhoods, you can only protect your house. You can't protect even the neighbor. So that is what is happening. We always need vigilance, and we always need people to use our intelligence capabilities to get things done. There's no other way to do it. It's not just an Ondo problem, although it's highlighted now.
That's right.
But every state should always be on the alert, because we can only protect our borders.
That's right.
We cannot protect other people's borders, and it's from other places that the problem comes.
Let's move on to the Leadership newspaper. With Dangote Refineries proposed 10% stake sale excite Nigerian investors. Dangote will be, you know, listing the 10% of his refinery on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, and people who love to invest are really, really excited about it. And even some investors are saying so because he wants to double, you know, the capacity of the refinery. Way to go, you think?
From 650,000 barrels a day, the refinery is pushing for 1,200 barrels a day. So any investor that knows that will say, look, if I put my money there, I definitely will recover my money and make a huge profit. For Dangote to offer 10% of its shares to Nigerians, it's very pivotal. We have to understand that. It then means that an average Nigerian has a stake on what he's doing. And he's positioning himself in such a way that he will be one of the saviors of the Nigerian economy. And
time to buy more stocks.
I know, and when I saw it, I was very excited because I love investment as well. You know, I'm like, okay, I can now have a piece of the cake.
So you mean oil and gas.
You know, Ria, the oil and gas girl as well, add it to my journalism. But I love the fact that it's Nigerians. Oftentimes, we've always said that he's always saying he's for Nigerians, but it's time that we get to see it. And I like the fact that right now you can see that you can invest in oil and gas, you know, from Dangote. 10% is not a bad idea, actually. And on social media, on the conversations, that people are quite excited, especially Nigerian investors are quite excited because they know how beneficial this is going to be. So I think it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a win-win, actually.
Mr. Sam, very quickly.
It's a good one. It's a good one, especially if you know that the portfolio in the country is just ballooning. Like we hear today that foreign portfolios have tripled to 1.8 trillion all-time high in the third quarter. So it's a good time for investment. So it's a good time also for Dangote. And Nigeria is kind of fertile for this
most definitely.
Ventures.
All right, then last but not least is Sport and Life. Caterpillar Osimhen can't stop scoring goals. Net brace in. And then he's also nominated for Player of the Year. Faces Salah, Hakimi, and Hakimi competition. So we'll see.
And he will win. You know, the other day when I said Osimhen is our Messi in Nigeria, they were telling me that why did I say that? But I say it again on TV. That is our Messi.
Most definitely, I agree with you. All right, then just stay with us here.
Osimhen did very well
yesterday.
He's playing very well.
Very well.
And he's one of Nigeria's best ambassadors.